Hello, this is the Carolina Mountain Woodturners, and we meet in North Carolina at the Folk Arts Center, just northeast of Asheville. And every month our members are invited to bring some of their wood turnings. There's one in box elder with a pretty pink in it. There's one with looks like strawberry guava. There's some of Jim McPhail's beautiful small turnings. There's an unusual one sitting on legs. Here's some turkey calls. Fella in Georgia did those. Very authentic. All the turkeys in the audience tuned right up with that one. Beautiful slate glass and wood. Quite remarkable. And here we find, what do we find? Oh, these are marvelous bowls, two of them. And we'll hear from the fellow a little later, but that is done with a router bit and a fixture. And it's all on the lathe. I think that part's done rather slowly, but it's quite attractive. Very unusual. Some of the fellows are much given to tools and tricks. Here we see a hollow vessel with a little bit of inlay work. Look at the beautiful colors here. And someone turned an egg, of all things. Just sitting on a paper plate, but can you turn a white egg? Out of wood, not out of chicken. A little bracelet to the side. Fellows fill out cards. They can have photos taken if they want. They can say handle them or don't handle them, depending which paperwork they fill out. There's a couple that were turned green, started to warp. There's one with a lip up there, looks like ambrosia maple. Here you can see one with ebonizing, dark coloring. Gives a very dramatic effect. There's an unusual vase. You can see the looks like probably ambrosia maple. And the bottom has a ring that is inlaid. There's a nice platter for serving your hors d'oeuvres. There's another one. Look at the beautiful grain wood patterns. Here we see what looks like an inlay at the bottom. We don't know if he punctured the bottom and had to do that or if that was by plan. Pretty bowl on above it. Here's some very unusual hollow forms with nice grain patterns, and that hollowing is all done through the little hole in the top, believe it or not. And the vessel itself is quite lightweight. That is real artistry in wood turning. There's a companion. Again, the tools are curved and they go in from the top and carefully hollow. Now look at the beautiful coloring on these. That almost looks like copper foil, and there's some dyeing of the wood. Very, very interesting and talented people here.
Given to me by a wood-turning buddy of mine, and I should have wasted him several years ago because it was a pretty ratty looking piece of wood to start with. But I put it on the lathe and I found that it changed shape even as I turned it. And when I got through, it was a beautiful piece of wood that was just ideal. It would probably take top prize anywhere. And as I kept looking at it, it kept changing shape and it got gnarled. Inside, you have not only the coloring, but you have burls, you have the riveting effect, the top is warped, and it has its own to it in it. I turned another bowl, which warped even more. It was a disaster to start with and became worse. So I had to make truly a world treasure out of it, although my buddy said it was ideal for firewood.
And some months ago, this is my first one. This is done with a big cam behind the chuck. I make a wooden cam. It's about 20 inches in diameter. This is a 4-lobe, 1.5-inch deflection cam. And then there's a carriage that rides in the ways of the lathe that goes up and down, follows the whatever interior pattern or exterior pattern you have, and it holds a Dremel tool with a flexible shaft Dremel tool with a router cutter in it. So it'll cut any configuration. You don't just have to have a flat side on the bolt. This is 1.5-inch deflection, 4 lobes. When you have that, the pattern crosses at a high angle. And I didn't like that too well. This is a progressive cut. I made this is a 1-inch deflection, 5-lobe, which actually lays the cuts out longer, thinner, so you get more free area through the bolt.
We talk about turning firewood. This actually was a salvaged piece of wood from a fire. It's ambrosia maple. It looked more like a charcoal briquette when I started. This is what I came up with. It's inlaid with turquoise, red coral, and sterling silver.
I worked at T.O. Walker taught me how to turn wood about 10 years ago. And I love to hunt, so I put the two together and started making turkey calls a few years ago. And this is a piece of Babinga. This is like one I sent into the National Turkey Federation this year for judging, and I got a third place for design. So
is that glass on it? Etched glass?
This top is a slate, and inside this is slate on top, and inside is a soundboard made of glass. You have to put a soundboard inside. It took me a while to work with the inside, getting the depth right and correct, and now that I've got the sound right, every call maker is played a little different, but once they figure it out, they don't give away their secrets, so don't ask.
Well, there you have it. Come see us.